Shri Narendra Modi, who is the Prime Minister of India. He is the greatest proof today. If anybody wanted to argue, did the Bible create modern India, you just have to look to Mr. Modi. He came to power a few months ago with the slogan that Acche Din are coming, good days are coming. That is anti-Hindu statement. Hinduism, Hindu cosmology believes that the universe begins with Satyug, degenerates to Treta, Dwapar and Kali Yuga, and then ends in Pralaya. So Hindu cosmology already believes that we are living in Kali Yuga. How can you have good days coming in Kali Yuga? The idea that Hindu fatalism is wrong, this idea that individual can change future, that future need not be worse than today, that it can be better than today, is an idea which begins with the Bible. The first book of the Bible to be written by Moses is Exodus, when Moses is called to lead slaves out of their slavery into a land flowing with milk and honey. You don't have to live in slavery. And just imagine in this ancient pagan world, Moses going and speaking to elders of the Jews, Israelites, the Hebrews at that point, that good days are coming ahead. What are you saying? We've always heard that history goes from bad to worse. So, fatalism is wrong, that human individuals can make a difference, we can shape our own destiny, is an idea that comes from the Bible. Second reason, example from Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji is his slogan, or he began to describe himself that I am your Pratam Sevak, your first servant. That's what Prime Minister means. That's an anti-Hindu idea. It comes directly out of the Gospels. This was what Pandit Nehru used to say, that my countrymen, I have come here to you to address you as your first servant, because that is what Prime Minister literally means. He was part of a political revolution that began in a little nondescript upper room in Jerusalem, where the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, stood up from the dining table, disrobed himself, put on the robes of a servant, took a basin of water and a towel and started washing the feet of his disciples. And he said, do you realize what I have done? You call me Lord, and that's what I am. But I have come here to start a new kingdom amongst the Gentiles. Their rulers lord it over them. In India, in traditional India, out of religious principles of caste system and such as caste system, their pagan rulers rule over them. But in this new kingdom, whoever wants to be the greatest will become a servant. I've come here as your servant, and I'm initiating this new kingdom in which, if you want to be the leader, you have to become the servant. Now this revolution, it was this revolution which led to the British Civil War and the bloodless revolution in 1688, whereby the kings of England began to lose their powers, and servants, ministers began to increase their power to the point that the first servant became the most important office, and he served not with a battalion of police or military men, but he served with a battalion of civil servants. That is the revolution that came to India. And when Modi ji describes himself as your first servant, he is in fact affirming that he is standing in the tradition that Jesus began in that upper room where he redefined leadership. His slogan of Swachh Barat, Clean Bharat, is the third illustration that he is anti-Hindu. He is following Moses and the Bible. I wish I can take an hour to explain that, why Mahatma Gandhi's effort to clean India failed. Gandhi was sincere, serious about getting the upper castes to clean this nation. His biggest fights with his wife were on this issue. She refused to clean toilets. And he said that if you have to live in the ashram, you have to clean toilets because this is not dirty work. Now, that is an idea which isn't coming. The reason why Prime Minister Modi ji is fighting against Indian culture in making the officers and leaders become sweepers is because it was Moses who said that God is holy. I am holy, therefore your camp should be holy. When you go for toilets, take a little instrument, cover the mess that you make. Because I'm holy, I want to live in your camp, you should be holy. Now, Hinduism has been opposite of that mindset, and I understood it many years ago, 75 I guess, when I was researching Hindu gurus. My first book was The World of Gurus. I visited the ashram of Swami Muktananda in Ganeshpuri in Mumbai and studied his very interesting biography, that he was on a spiritual quest, going from holy man, holy place to holy place, pilgrimage to pilgrimage, to find one person in this nation who he could believe was actually enlightened. Now, what is enlightenment? In Advaita, which is monism or pantheism, the idea is that all is Brahma, all is God. He went to all the holy men. He didn't find any enlightened person in India. And as he was giving up his spiritual quest, he was passing through in front of a city. And in those days, there were no toilets, there were no running water, there were no flush toilets. So the old tradition was that if the lower caste went out for toilet and the upper caste had an outhouse where you squatted and there was a tin under you, and then the sweeper woman would come in the morning and pull out what they call night soil back then. It's called night soil. She'll put it in a tokri, in a basket, and put that on her head and take it and dump it outside. That was our idea of cleanliness. So as Muktanand was passing through this pile of filth, human excreta, he saw a naked ascetic sitting on that pile. Muktananda immediately knew that here is a man who is truly enlightened. Why? Because you know what the Hindu guru said to the hamburger vendor? Make me one with everything. What that means is everything is God. Enlightenment is becoming one with everything. When you exclude something as filthy, then you're not enlightened, because you don't see that this is Brahma, this is God. The question, why did Mahatma Gandhi, in spite of being serious and sincere in cleaning India, failed? His campaign failed because this love for cleanliness and exclusion of all dirt is an idea which is coming from the Bible, from Moses in particular, from God. Fourth thing that I'm just giving as an illustration from Modi ji, that he is the biggest proof that modern India is created by the Bible, is his slogan, Make in India.